Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? This is Colleen Light with Cards by Coco. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I come to you from a small town in Southwest Washington. So while I wait for people to bounce on, it's a different day for me, so I'm hoping people are able to bounce on. While I do that, I'm going to bring you up on my computer here and I'm terrible at looking at comments during the live when I'm actually trying to create anything, but I try and remember, and I say this every time, I try and remember to at least look at them and answer any questions you might have before I sign off. So hopefully I'll be better about that this time than I was the last time. So I'm going to be honest, our internet is a little off this morning. So I'm going to hope that everything works out okay. So this is the card I'm making. It's a great holiday card, and here's the big news. These festive foils are on, let me pull them out just a little bit, are on the weekly deal this week. So look at this, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So this is the soft succulent, this is the cherry cobbler, and the back is, let me see, it's the gold, So I just think these are just absolutely gorgeous, so that I had to work with them this week. And I think I'm actually going to have to get another set for myself. Of course, you know, it always comes the day after. I should have waited. I ordered the day after, or pardon me, the day before the sale was announced. Anyway, this card's a bit fiddly with some of the die cuts, but I think I have most of them done. And, oh, let me see. Hang on a second. I need to just grab something out of Lucy's mouth. She's in here with me. And normally I don't worry if she gets a piece of paper, but that was plastic, and I don't want her to swallow plastic Anyway, let me just go ahead and tell you what all we're going to be working with today. We're using the Sweetest Christmas Suite. So that's kind of a mouthful for me. Anyway, the Sweetest Christmas Suite. It's on page 8 and 9 of our mini holiday catalog. And we're going to be using quite a few things from this set. In particular, we're going to be using the Christmas banners. So I love this Christmas banners, and I love the sweet candy canes. In fact, I can't think of one thing I don't love about this set. So keep an eye out and look for that. And let's go ahead and get started with today's project. So we're going to use our standard card base here. So this is a cherry cobbler base, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, and we're scoring it at 4 1/4. Now, I always post this on my blog by the end of the day. I try and do it within a few hours. I can sometimes tell you the measurements wrong, so if they don't make sense to you, just check out the blog, because that's going to be your safest bet. I'm really careful when I blog measurements. Sometimes I get to talking. You know how it is. You get to talking, and that's just that. So then I took a piece of this gorgeous festive foil using the cherry cobbler, because I just love this color for the holidays. Love, love, love it. Kind of bounce between this color and the real red sometimes this time of the year, but I think this, for this time around, I think I am favoring the cherry cobbler. And it matches, you know, and I always say that is the best thing about Stampin' Up! Products is the color coordination. Being someone who's not great with color, like me, the color coordination makes it very, very easy for me to create, which is what I like. Okay, so then look at this. I'm just going to pop this piece down. I don't think I gave you the measurements for it. So I like to line it up kind of on the 3 sides and then lay it flat. And I don't press it real hard until I make sure it's where I want it. So there we go. So this measured at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So easy peasy there. while we have this out, I'm going to take the inside of our card, which measured the same as that festive foil, and I cut the length the same as this. So this would be 5 3/8. And I'm going to glue, this is our inside panel. And I just want to get, sometimes I'll forget to do the inside panel when we're visiting and kind of talking and whatnot. So I want to get this done. And I'm going to use my silicone mat because I'm going to rest it up. The nice thing about the silicone mat is that adhesive here. I'll show you. The adhesive doesn't stick to it. Look, just rubs right off. You can clean it off. I cleaned mine off yesterday with a baby wipe. Now, full disclosure, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to clean it off, but mine was getting kind of dusty and well-loved. Well-loved. So I decided that I needed to take a baby wipe and clean it off. Doesn't look like it did any harm to it whatsoever. All right, so I like to line mine up and then again over here. But I have to kind of, there we go. I have to set mine up on something to make sure that I am even. And I use the liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Now, I'm going to be honest. See, I need a little bit of wiggle room over here to bring that to the edge. Much better, much, much better. Okay, let's take our bone folder and smooth that out. Good. Now, I do tend to cut it just a hair longer than is necessary because it's easier to trim paper than it is to add paper. So I'm just going to give that a little snip. Look at that. And we're going to put this immediately right in here. So this will be done and we won't have to worry about the inside of our card. I'm not adding an inside greeting or sentiment to mine at this point in time. I am in total craft fair mode. My craft fair, my first one is November 19th in Hockinson, Washington. And my second one is December 3rd here in Kalama. So I hope you can come out and join me, see all the little goodies I've made. But back to what I was saying, I'm not adding a lot of sentiments or greetings on the inside just because a lot of these will be showing up at my craft fair. And I like to leave plenty of room for notes for people to write. See, look at how nice that finished things off, right? Isn't that pretty? All right, now let's get to the somewhat fiddly part because we're going to be doing stamping and die cutting. I did do a bit in advance. So here's our sample. For this one, I used our stylish dies for our circle, which I have out here because these are, again, my go-to dies when I can't think of what I want to do for a banner or a layer. Because we have our squares, we have our banners here, which are just, I mean, look at these. They're amazing. It makes creating so easy. And then we have our circles. So I went ahead, since I know I'm doing quite a few die cuts on this, I did some of them in advance so you didn't have to suffer through watching me do all of them. So look at this, and this is that soft succulent festive foil that's on special now. So that's all I did there, and we're gonna go ahead and adhere that in the left hand, on the left side of the card, leaving just a little bit of a border. So I don't know if y'all can hear Lucy kind of fussing around and wiggling around down there. For those of you who are new, we took in a yellow lab puppy. I don't know what made me think that was a good idea. She's a doll, and we've had labs, so I believe me, in full disclosure, I knew everything I was getting into with a new lab, right? They're chewy, they're nippy, they're full of energy and life, and but we've never had a puppy that we haven't had kids at home before. All of our girls, as you know, are raised and out of the house and professional young women living their best lives. And I'll tell you what, I've never appreciated them more than I have having to manage a dog on my own. All right, so this I took out of, I want to show you here. This here is the Sweetest Christmas Designer Series paper. And it coordinates with the candy cane dies. So you get this we're going to make a project with. I have a fun idea for that. That's kind of a, you know, you fold it and you can heat emboss and whatnot. It's kind of a tag. Here is another big die here. And for our candy cane, I took one of these dies and they coordinate with this. So it's easy. You can stamp it in the colors you want, or look at how easy that is. I went the most efficient way for me, which is just to kind of, use what Stampin' Up! Has done for me. But I'm going to pull this out and just show you some of this paper here. Isn't this just gorgeous? And of course, the designer series paper is always just as beautiful on the side that is not shown facing forward as it is on the back. So I've already done a lot of creating with this. And I may have to order more of this also. I just think some of our Christmas sets, in fact, I ordered a new one, are just gorgeous this year. All right, let's have some fun and do some stamping. My favorite part. I love to stamp. I love all the die cuts. They're fun, but stamping is truly, truly, truly my favorite. So let's do some of that. So I have my cherry cobbler die here. Ink. Oh my gosh. I've got my cherry cobbler ink here, and this big banner from our Christmas banners stamp set. So the big one right here. And we're going to go ahead and tap, tap, tap. And this is photopolymer. So while that sits there and just rests for a minute, I am going to bring in my mat, which you can see I have been creating away because this is a hot mess, right? And I'm going to give this, it's going to have to go this way, a little press. Look at that. Doesn't get any easier than that, does it? Ta-da! And bear with me while I wipe this one off. This is really dark ink. So normally I don't, unless I'm using dark ink, I don't clean my stamps when we're filming and, when we're spending our time together. And this is my very well-loved chamois here, but I want to get some of that cherry cobbler ink off of that. Let's see there. Yep, looks good. We're not going to be using it again, but you know how it is. It just kind of, it stains. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for my greeting. I'm using soft succulent, which sometimes for me, I don't get the coverage I want when I'm doing a greeting. And I'm not good at eyeballing. And oops, let's move these magnets out of the way. That was almost something, huh? And I want to make sure I get good coverage for my greeting. So I took our Season's Greetings. I'm putting the greetings here. I'm just going to line it up there. The beauty of the Stamparatus is that you can just keep pressing until you get the image you want. And then I am going to just grab my snips here. Sometimes they want to stick to my finger. So let's do that. I'm going to line this one up and line this one up. And I'm going to pick it up with the plate. Look at how easy that is. Now I'm going to put my stamp case underneath there. So I have a base to press on. And then I'm just going to use my soft suck here. Let me see. Am I out of screen? Let's try this a little bit so you can see too. I know what I'm doing. There we go. Let's go like that. And then I'm going to bring this in and just press it down. See, and I do want that just a little bit darker. So that is the beauty again of the Stamparatus, is that I can get this as dark. Also, because I am doing a craft fair and I am making many, 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 many Christmas cards, this is a great way to do things in bulk. You can stamp your banners and just move them down, or the plate actually can move up. Let me show you here. Like you can work where you're just moving your plate up and down. So this is a great way if you are making your own Christmas cards this year, which I hope you are. That's an easy way to do multiples. Okay, so now we need to do some leaves. So let me get out my leaf that I wanted here, which is this one. Again, I'm going to stamp in soft succulent. Oh, you know, maybe I already have it on the block. Let me see. Let me look through here in my disaster of a room. Yep. Ta-da! I was more organized than I thought. Okay. And because I want to run this through all at once. So let's go ahead and tap, 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 and stamp. Oh, I really needed that mat underneath here. There we go. The minute I pressed down, I thought, oh, I really needed that cushion. If you don't have one of these Stampin' Pierce mats, use your catalog, a magazine, anything that has a little bounce to it, just to get a little bit of a firmer image and to let that ink absorb a little bit more. It really does help. Okay, let's get the die cutting machine out. And let's get our dies. So as you all know, if you've watched for any length of time, I have to tape things down. I am terrible, terrible, terrible. Things always move on me, always. I can't seem to do it without things moving. So I'm gonna find my little pieces of tape that I have. They're right here on the back of my chair. Usually I keep them up here. You don't need a lot. Just to hold things in place, and then still sometimes I have to redo it. So I hope you're all, oh, and it's also the first week of fall, isn't it? It was like 53 degrees here in Washington. Yesterday was really overcast. Lucy and I went down to the river, and it was very, very overcast yesterday. Okay, so we're gonna cut out one of these leaves, one of our little designs here. So like I said, this is a little bit more of a fiddly card than I generally make. So let me just go ahead and go through. Sorry, I'm gonna wiggle here a little bit on this table. And we'll recut out that one leaf, but look at this banner. I just have to show you, isn't that gorgeous? And then how that image turns out. So I think this set just for the banner dies is worth it. Honestly, I think the banners are, let me show it to you again. Well, I have this here, so maybe you can see. You have the one I'm using, you have a smaller one, and then you have this very ribbony one, which I absolutely love and cannot wait to play around with that one. All right, one more die cut here. I have the other ones done. And then we can, oh, let me close the door. Must be a cat or a deer outside. You all know how Lucy is. There's probably deer. It's about the time they start eating in the morning in our front yard. So there she goes. I'm sorry for all you non-dog lovers out there. I'm so sorry. No matter how well I plan. I even put signs up outside for my neighbors letting them know, please don't knock the door. Don't knock on the door. Life with a puppy, what can you do? All right, so there's our fiddly part there. Now let's put this all together. Let's put this all together here, and I apologize for the background noise. I am so sorry. Anyway, what can you do? So let me show you what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna bring in my sample so you can see. Oh, the one thing I didn't show you is I cut out these little berries out of the glimmer paper. So this is the real red and white glimmer paper. So again, I'm all about the holidays with the sparkle and the shine. And the dies for this are also in the banner, Christmas banners. So this would be your berries. And then this, I think this is the one that I might have used. I can't remember. Let me see, which one did I use for the, I'm trying to think, which one did I use for the vine? Oh, no, this one right here is the one I used to put the berries on. All right, so now let's get our fiddly parts done. I want to get this together. I cut these out in advance, and let's go ahead and glue and place these on. I'm going to turn them upside down because it's going to be easier for me to have them upside down. I am not putting the glue on these little berries. I am putting the glue right here on the end of my little twig. I'm using the silicone mat, like I said, just because the glue doesn't adhere to it. And I know when I press these down, it is going to just be, I'm going to grab my take your pick tool and I am going to press this down. I'm sorry, she's still going. I hope it's not too disturbing for people, but I'm just going to forge ahead. I just don't know what to do. Anyway. Nothing like the fun of a barking dog, you know. And what's kind of funny is she's generally really pretty quiet. I'm pretty confident I should run out and look, and like, what would I do though, right? With all the deer, I'm pretty sure the deer are just out in the front yard, probably chomping on something I don't want them to chomp on. See, so look at that. There's our fiddly part all done. So we have our berries now ready to go. And I think that sparkle paper, even though it's real red, I think it gives enough of a contrast to the cherry cobbler to make it just look so pretty. So ta-da, there's that. Now let's start putting our card together. Let's go ahead, and here is our candy cane. You can see I used a different one this time. This one really had that cherry cobbler and green in it. This has a little bit of pool party in it, so I went a little different on this one. And there was actually no reason why. It was strictly because it was the one that was closest to the edge of the designer series paper, and I didn't want to waste it. All right, so I'm going to, again, using the silicone mat, I'm going to start goofing around with glue and adhering things. So and pressing things down. So I'm going to put this one here. Then I'm going to take this one and go just a smudge under. You don't need a ton of glue, a little bit do. Then I'm going to, because we're going to be gluing this down again, right? So you don't need a ton, just enough. I just want to tuck things in. There we go. Now for this piece, I'm just going to put a little bit here. And I'm going to tuck that in right. I'm going to lift it up, I should have. And I'm going to wiggle it around. Just lift that up a little bit. Just so it fits in there. Isn't that so cute? So cute. I want it to face up a little bit more though. So good. See, that's the nice thing again about that liquid glue. Gives you just a little room to goof around. All right, let's put this one here. So far, what do you think about this set? Do you think it's as pretty as I think it is? I just really love it. See, and we're going to glue these down. This part is not going up on dimensionals. So these leaves will stick really, really well. Also, have any of you done craft fairs? I really would be interested into how it went for you and if you would ever do it again. Do you go to craft fairs? I go to them all. I love seeing what people do. Okay, oops. Well, you know what? I don't want to get glue on my card. There we go. We're going to just turn that over. I can get it off of this. I just do not want it on my card. Not after all the time and energy we've put into this. All right. So we're going to set this one down like that. I'm going to add just one little glue dot there. This does not have any ribbon on it. I think hang on, I think my fingers got sticky. I'm going to use my take your pick tool. I think this banner is gorgeous and does all the work for us. So I'm not feeling like I need a lot of ribbon, but I am going to put, on this one, I use the basic rhinestones. I'm going to switch up my game a little bit. Okay, oh, here it is. And I'm going to use the gems that came in the set, and I'll show you those in a minute. I don't like when my banners fold, so I am probably adding way more dimensionals than the average crafter would. Let's take these off. So yesterday, I was not able to come on yesterday. Next week, I'll be able to do it again. I am part of a volunteer group that is organizing an event locally for a park. And so that's what I was doing yesterday morning. So next week, hopefully, I will be home in time. If not, I'll just be a few minutes late, but I should be pretty close to 9. I underestimated where the meeting was, so I didn't have my time frame right for travel. So adhesive back seasonal sequins. Let me show you these because these are gorgeous. And I want to show you all the colors. There's 4 different colors that come in this pack, and it comes in the suite. So we have the green, the white. I'm not really sure what color that would be. It probably says in the catalog. Let me look and see. Let me tell you here if it says. And I know that I said it was on page 8 and 9, right? Let's see what the catalog says. It just says adhesive. Oh, sweet sorbet, garden green, gold, and white. So sweet sorbet. And there's the gold. So I'm thinking for this one, I want to bring in the white. Kind of look maybe snowflakey. I don't know. And I'm going to just sprinkle some of these around. I liked how the rhinestones looked on that one, but I wanted to try and see what I thought about these ones. And I love it. All right, so here is today's Christmas card, holiday card with the inside. So if you're sending these out, use your stamp apparatus, because if you're doing your inside and your season's greetings, you know, the stamp apparatus comes with 2 plates. And so you can flip them and remove them, and you can put all your stamps down. So if you're doing a multi of the same design, use your stamp apparatus, because you could stamp all your greetings and this and everything, and just bingo bango, you could be done. So anyway, so this is today's card. Don't forget that this paper, the Festive Foils, is now currently on the weekly special. I have to finish this one as soon as we're done. And really, 2 cards just that quick. I kind of like this one with the my first one better, where they're a little closer. I tried to spread them out this time to see if I would like that better. But I still think they're both very pretty. So anyway, so let me see. Good morning, Wendy. Good morning, Jan, Kathy. Thank you, everyone, for sharing and joining me. I really appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions about the products, me, Stampin' Up, Lucy? If no questions, and I can always answer them when I'm done, I check back and forth. And, oh, thank you, Kathy. I really like this card, too. I think it's been one of the favorites I've made this year. Anyway, you all have a great day, a great weekend, and I will see you at my regular scheduled time, hopefully next week. Like I said, if I'm not exactly at 9, it will be within a few minutes. Through October, I will be joining that volunteer group for meetings and to get our baskets made. Anyway, thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.